What's up everyone? Welcome to John's Daily Hustles. Today I'm going to do a review of the AgriFab pull behind 48-inch core aerator. So all in all, its build quality is actually really good. It's built pretty sturdy. I used it and abused it pretty well today, and it held up pretty good. I will say if you're building it, these tines are very sharp when they're brand new. They do seem to be doling out even after just one use, but we will get to that later. I'll do a long-term review on it and we'll see how much they really dole out. They may have just got the edge, the real sharp fine point knocked off, but it may be fine for a long period of use. But like I said, I'll do a long-term review on that. So as I said, it is definitely built pretty sturdy. It's got some good thick steel here, and it has a good area here, nice big flat area to where you can put your weight on it. I used a cinder block and I just had some fire pit bricks laying around, which now I have all four cinder. I believe I have 4 cinder blocks I could put on here, and that should give us more than enough weight. Plus I have the fire pit bricks if I need them. So in terms of build quality, there's only one thing that I noticed, and it's right here. If you guys look at that, you see how it's kind of skewed? And that came from the factory like that. There's actually 2 bolts, and I thought maybe I installed it wrong, but there's 2 bolts here, and that's just how they drilled them in, and that's the only way they fit, is just slightly skewed. And I'm not sure how they made it, but you can see where the pin is actually, it sits at an angle, so it's a little awkward, but that is how they made it. It's not a big issue because it still fits in my 0-turn hitches, and if it really was that big of a deal, I could just always, drill that hole out and make it right, or even just realign those and make it straight, whatever you wanted to do. But it's just that one little thing that bothers me. So I'll upload a video of me actually using this, and you guys will get to see how good it works, and then we'll talk about one of the other flaws that it had. Here you go. Actually, it doesn't work too bad. I really wish I had more weight on it, but you guys can see it does penetrate pretty well. Now the ground is pretty wet, but this is usually pretty hard packed ground, so for how hard it usually is, this works pretty good. But like I said, I just wish I had a little bit more weight on it. So it actually works really well, and it definitely works a lot better than one of those walk behind aerators, the kind that beat you up after just using it for 20 minutes. Those things are a pain in the butt. It works really well. The only downside is you have to obviously have a mower to pull it, but if you're in the lawn care business, you most likely have a mower anyways. But from a residential standpoint, you may not have a mower. You may just have a push mower, and this option might not be for you. But anyways, it definitely works very well for what it is and for its price. I think it was like $200 and something. There'll be a link in the description for it, as well as my dethatcher and the pull behind spreader. It is safe and secure through Amazon. You guys can click it and buy it if you want. Try it out. So, some of the problems that I noticed that it does have. So, one problem that I think it definitely needs to be addressed is the wheels on it. They don't have enough clearance anyways, to where when you are, not in operating position, you're just in transport mode and you're just pulling it. I do feel like there's maybe, just an inch or 2 of a gap here between the ground and the tine, the wheel and the tine. So when you're just transporting it over, driveways, sidewalks, maybe you're jumping a curb, which I don't recommend if you're pulling this. You're going to have to take this off and pick it up and put it over the curb. Or maybe you're just transitioning down. What will happen is these tines will catch on whatever it is the uneven surface is, and that's probably part of the reason why they dole out a little faster than they need to. So you got to be careful on that, because you also damage driveways and stuff like that. So now the biggest problem that I have with it when we were using it is how they made this right here. This is the operating control arm, whatever you want to call it. You swing it back to put it in operating mode, and it swings the wheels up and puts the tines in the ground. Well, I feel like this notch here, which the same problem, we had the same issue with the dethatcher. This notch here, I don't think was notched right. It needs to be maybe cut down more, or, this needs to have more room to move over this way. Because what will happen is you'll have it in transport mode. Let me come over here. You'll have it in transport mode just like that. And you can see it's just barely down in that notch. So, and you can see it's even slightly bent from it happening. You can see that bend there. But what will happen is during transport, you'll just hit a slight bump and it'll knock this out of transport mode, and the tines will go down and they'll slam into the concrete. And obviously that'll damage the concrete and it'll damage the tines, and it'll cause the points not to, be as sharp, and it'll round them out and smooth them out, and then it won't work as efficiently. So that's a huge problem that I have with it. It drove me crazy. So what I ended up having to do is, if I crossed over sidewalk or a driveway, I would just have to get off the mower and unhook it from the hitch and literally push it over to wherever the next position is that I had to use it at. So that was a big pain in the butt, and wasted a little bit of time there. So they definitely need to get on that and fix that. But like I said, for its price, with just those few problems, it actually worked really good. Now, all those problems might be fixable from you as the consumer. I'm going to try and do it probably here. I've got a few jobs I'm going to use it on, and we'll see if I can maybe fix it, maybe bend it. I'm going to try and notch out that little slit there and see if I can get it to work right that way. It may work that way, it may not. We'll give it a try, but I'm always going to do a long-term review anyways of this, so you guys will see what I've done then and how it's held up and how it's worked. And I am using it commercially, so I'm really going to put it through the ringer and put it through the test. So, anybody else looking at doing it commercially will get to see how it's held up, and any residential guys will know that it will hold up. But anyway, so far after my few uses that I've used it so far after this video, it works pretty good. Just those few flaws, like I said. So definitely hit the subscribe button so you'll see the long-term review of it. And as always, thanks for watching.